Prince Harry arrived in the United Kingdom with one expectation. He would be staying at Buckingham Palace, not a hotel, not a private estate. Buckingham Palace, the official residence, the seat of power, the most significant royal building in the entire country. The palace had offered him a room. The offer was confirmed. The dates were set. Everything was arranged. But then, something changed. Palace officials made a shocking announcement. The accommodation offer was being withdrawn. Completely, immediately. No room at Buckingham Palace for Prince Harry. And according to palace sources, the timing of this decision is anything but random. It happened at a specific moment, during a specific crisis, for specific reasons that reveal everything about where the royal family actually stands right now. This is the story of how Harry went from welcome at the palace to no longer welcome, and what it tells us about the future of the royal family. Before we get into what palace insiders are revealing, hit subscribe. This story is still unfolding. Let's start with what we know for certain. Prince Harry planned a UK visit in July 2026. This was not a casual trip. Harry had official engagements, charity work. He was attending events with purpose. Buckingham Palace made an offer. An official offer, a room at the palace. This was significant. This meant the palace was signaling, "You're part of the family. You're welcome here. We want you here." According to palace sources, King Charles supported this offer. Charles wanted Harry to stay at the palace. Charles wanted the reunion to happen in the most official, most formal, most symbolically important setting possible. Buckingham Palace. Harry's team accepted the offer. They confirmed the dates. They made arrangements. Everything was moving forward. This was happening in early July. The offer was concrete. The timeline was set. Harry would arrive in London. He would stay at Buckingham Palace. He would spend time there, presumably with Charles and other family members. But here's where the story gets complicated. According to palace staff who spoke to multiple outlets, there was resistance to this plan. Immediate resistance. Staff members were uncomfortable. They had concerns. They had objections. According to the Daily Mail, palace staff told Charles they were unprepared to host Harry. They cited staffing issues and security concerns. They said the arrangements were coming too late in the process. Some staff members were more blunt. According to palace insiders who spoke to the Mirror, staff members said Harry's presence would cause disruption and chaos. They expressed concerns about loyalty conflicts and divided loyalties among palace employees. One palace correspondent told The Express, the staff essentially rebelled. They told the king that hosting Harry would create internal problems. This is important context. This is not just about logistics. This is about palace politics. This is about the institution itself pushing back against the idea of Harry being welcomed so formally at Buckingham Palace. So King Charles faced a choice: support his son and override staff objections, or acknowledge the institutional resistance and withdraw the offer. According to palace sources, Charles was at a breaking point. He was frustrated. He was worn down. He was exhausted by the constant drama and constant logistics surrounding Harry's visit. Palace officials announced the decision. The accommodation offer was being withdrawn. Officially, publicly, no room for Harry at Buckingham Palace. The palace issued a statement. According to multiple outlets reporting on the official statement, the palace cited scheduling conflicts and insufficient notice for arrangements. The palace said Harry's team had not confirmed in time. The palace said protocols could not be met. Harry's team disputed this. They told outlets they had confirmed the offer. They said they received no explicit deadline. They said the palace withdrew the offer without proper notice. So we have conflicting narratives. Palace says Harry didn't respond in time. Harry's team says palace didn't give enough notice. Both versions are sourced. Both versions come from named parties. Neither can be definitively proven or disproven based on available information. But here's what matters. The room was withdrawn. According to palace staff sources quoted in the Mirror, staff members were satisfied with this outcome. One staff member told the outlet, "The king listened to the concerns of the palace staff. That's a good sign that the institution still matters." Other palace sources told the Daily Mail that Charles had no choice but to withdraw the offer. According to these sources, Charles was boxed in by staff resistance and protocol requirements. So Harry's plan changed, his accommodation changed. What was supposed to be an official, formal palace stay became something different, something less official, something less symbolically welcoming. And this brings us to the timing question. Why did this happen when it happened? What makes the timing significant? Harry's visit was not random. He had specific reasons for coming to the UK, specific engagements, specific events he was attending. One of those events was tied to ongoing legal matters. According to court records and multiple outlets, Harry has been engaged in legal disputes, some ongoing, some reaching conclusions in July 2026. According to the Telegraph and other outlets covering Harry's legal matters, there were court-related developments scheduled during July 2026, verdicts, decisions, outcomes that would affect Harry personally and legally. The timing of the palace's room withdrawal decision is significant because it happened during this exact window. While Harry was dealing with legal uncertainty, while he was navigating court-related stress, while he was vulnerable, palace sources who spoke to outlets suggest this timing was not coincidental. According to the Daily Mail, one palace insider said, "The timing sent a message. The message was, you're on your own right now. Don't expect support from us." According to the Express, another palace source suggested the withdrawal was unavoidable given everything happening in Harry's life at that moment. The suggestion being, the palace was not going to welcome Harry with open arms while he was dealing with legal exposure. Now, it's important to note, there is no official statement from the palace confirming this timing was intentional. There is no confirmation from Charles that he was making a statement. What we have are sourced comments from palace insiders, interpreted comments, comments that suggest causality without explicit confirmation. But the fact remains, Harry's room was withdrawn during a vulnerable moment in his timeline, during a moment when he needed stability, during a moment when palace support would have sent a powerful message. Instead, he got withdrawal, he got exclusion, he got the opposite message entirely. Here's what makes this decision even more significant. Prince William was not at Buckingham Palace during this period. William was in the Cotswolds. William was attending polo matches. William was publicly, visibly elsewhere. But according to palace sources, William was very much involved in the decision-making process around Harry's accommodation. According to the Daily Mail, William's position was clear. He did not support Harry staying at Buckingham Palace. William had concerns. William had objections. William's voice mattered in palace decision-making. According to palace insiders who spoke to the Mirror, William told palace officials that hosting Harry would be inappropriate given the ongoing legal matters. William suggested that the palace should not be perceived as providing comfort or support to Harry during legal proceedings. Now, it's important to be clear, William did not make the final decision. Charles did. But William carried weight with palace staff. When the future king makes his position clear, staff members listen. Kate Middleton's position was aligned with William's. According to palace sources quoted in multiple outlets, Kate also did not support Harry staying at the palace. Kate was focused on her own recovery and family stability. Kate was not pushing for reconciliation or palace welcome gestures. So what emerges is a picture. King Charles wanted to welcome Harry, but Charles was overruled by institutional resistance, staff concerns, and his own son's objections. Charles withdrew the offer. The palace announced the withdrawal. Harry's room disappeared, and the message was sent. William does not approve. Kate does not approve. The palace staff does not approve. Only Charles supports you. And Charles is alone. This whole sequence reveals something profound about how the palace actually operates. It's not a united institution under one king's rule. It's fractured. It's divided. It has internal factions. King Charles wants reconciliation. Charles wants to heal the family. Charles reached out to Harry. Charles offered the palace room. But the palace staff, William, Kate, and palace protocols all pushed back. The institution itself resisted Charles's wishes. According to palace insiders, this is creating genuine tension between Charles and William. Charles sees William as obstructing family healing. William sees himself as protecting palace reputation and protocol. According to the Telegraph, one correspondent wrote, "The palace has never been more visibly fractured. The king wants one thing, the future king wants another, and the institution is caught in the middle." Palace sources suggest this fracture will only deepen. If Charles continues trying to reconcile with Harry, he will continue facing William's resistance. If Charles continues overriding staff concerns, he will continue weakening his authority. According to palace staff sources, this creates a problem for Charles's reign. Staff are uncertain whose authority to follow. Do they follow Charles's wishes, or do they anticipate William's future rule and align with his position? One palace official told the Mirror, "The palace needs clear leadership right now. Instead, we have a divided house. The room withdrawal is not just about Harry, it's about the palace itself. It's about the question of who actually runs the institution, Charles or William, the past king or the future king, the desire for reconciliation or the demand for boundaries." And right now, the palace is choosing William's side. The palace is choosing boundaries. The palace is choosing to exclude Harry. So how did Harry respond to the room withdrawal? According to Harry's team, he adapted. He found alternative accommodation. He proceeded with his UK visit despite the palace rejection. Harry's team told outlets that the withdrawal was disappointing. That's the word they used. Not angry, not outraged, disappointed. According to Meghan's representatives, the couple viewed the withdrawal as unfortunate timing, but decided to move forward anyway. They would attend their scheduled events. They would complete their charitable work. They would not be deterred by palace politics. But here's what's significant. Harry did not stay at Buckingham Palace. Harry stayed away from the most official, most formal, most symbolically important setting possible. Harry was separated from the palace, separated from Charles's official residence, separated from the visible center of royal power. And that separation sends its own message. The message is, Harry is no longer officially welcome. Harry is no longer part of the palace family in a formal sense. Harry is on the outside. According to palace sources, this is likely the beginning of a pattern. If Harry returns to the UK in the future, he should not expect palace accommodation. He should expect to be on the outside. He should expect boundaries. According to the Daily Mail, palace officials have already begun discussing protocols for managing future Harry visits. The discussion centers on keeping Harry away from official palace spaces, on limiting his access, on maintaining distance. So the room withdrawal is not just one isolated decision, it's the beginning of a new approach, a new institutional position, a new way the palace is defining its relationship with Harry. So let me bring this back to the beginning. Prince Harry came to the UK with an expectation. He would be welcomed at Buckingham Palace. But the palace said no. The palace withdrew the offer. The palace sent a message, "You're no longer welcome here in an official capacity." And the timing of that message, during Harry's vulnerable legal period, sent an even deeper message. This is not a family supporting its own. This is an institution protecting its interests. This is power being wielded. King Charles wanted to welcome Harry. Charles tried, but Charles was overruled by his own son, by palace staff, by institutional resistance, by his own weakness relative to the future king's position. William wanted boundaries. William wanted exclusion. And William got what he wanted. Kate aligned with William. The palace staff sided with William. The future king won. And Harry learned, the palace is not a place of family reconciliation. The palace is a place of institutional power. And right now, that power is being wielded against him. Here's what I want to know. Do you think the palace was right to withdraw the room? Or was this William using his influence to punish Harry? Is this boundary setting or vindictive timing? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Tell me whose side you're on. And subscribe because this family drama is far from over. The palace is fractured. Charles and William are divided, and Harry is on the outside. What happens next could reshape the entire royal family.